will tell you they invented homecoming here early in the 1900s, and Mizzou's trying to sail on to an SEC East title against Ole Miss today. Carnage in the SEC East earlier on. You saw it over on ESPN. South Carolina goes between the hedges, beats Georgia in double overtime, and then in an hour over on ESPN, LSU and Florida in a huge game for the country and for this Mizzou team, certainly. We thank you for joining us. Jason Benetti, Rod Gilmore, Quint Kesnick downstairs. Mizzou thought it might be without its quarterback this week, but Kelly Bryant, the Clemson transfer, will play. Yeah, there was a lot of concern. You know, we're used to seeing Kelly Bryant. You know, he was at Clemson, had a great career there. And then this happened to him last week against Troy. He took a hit from behind. That left knee buckled, and everyone was concerned that he wouldn't be able to go this week. Well, we watched him closely in warm-ups. Not only was he moving around well, dancing, rolling out, he looks just fine. Don't worry about him. The dancing's important to exactly. And certainly they will be without a guy downstairs defensively, though, that won't run out with them together in the linebacker, Cale Garrett. But here come the Tigers. We mentioned Cale Garrett out, the linebacker for Mizzou, and that hurts, right, Quint?
Yeah, they'll miss his productivity, but more so they'll miss his leadership. He was the choreographer of this very nasty defense, getting everyone organized. That responsibility now inherited by the group. All 11 guys got to do a little more. But Nick Bolton, the outside linebacker, he's only a sophomore from Frisco, Texas. He's a young player that's really improved at his spot, but today he bears the responsibility of getting everybody else organized. So there's a lot more on Bolton's plate.
There certainly is. And look, the offense they're going to deal with, look out, SEC road dog. We saw it earlier on. The freshman John Rice Plumlee is very dynamic.
Yeah, he's facing a really good defense, but if you haven't seen John Rice Plumlee, you're in for a treat. He is dynamic. He's an explosive runner with great vision, and he has the ability to make big plays right off the bat. There is no question about that. Now, this defense will try and limit his ability to run and see if he's as good a passer as he is a runner. We'll see that tonight.
But it didn't take a Tiger to get everybody all fired up. This is well before the game. During pregame warm-ups, that is the defensive back Jarvis Ware taking a swing at the reserve guard Chandler Tuitt down on the field. So they're getting to know each other, as we saw in the Oklahoma-Texas game earlier.
Yeah, tempers running a little bit high, a lot of intensity. SEC game, and folks trying to make sure that they establish their territory on the field.
Here's Matt Luke, who's a very intense former offensive lineman at his alma mater. He was a center at Ole Miss in the 90s. And then Barry Odom on the other side trying to get Mizzou to a win in its final home game for the next 4 games. They have a 3-game road swing coming up, and that could help determine the SEC East as well. And we'll get into what Mizzou would have to win the SEC East, as they're currently appealing a postseason ban throughout the telecast.
Well, this is going to be a good test, you know, for Mizzou, for us to find out, is their defense for real? Are they for real? Are they a legitimate contender in the SEC East?
Who is a contender in the SEC East? We will find out throughout the night here and at Florida LSU over on ESPN. Off we go from Faurot Field in Columbia. And Ole Miss will have it at the 25-yard line. We told you about John Rice Plumlee. He is an accomplished piano player along with his quarterbacking ability, but he's a two-sport guy too. You see the baseball bat, heavily recruited for his baseball, center fielder out of Hattiesburg, and he plans to do both.
Well, he's a Renaissance man, right? I mean, he's a master of so many things. He's an athlete, he's a singer, he plays the piano, and he's an outstanding student. That's a Renaissance man to me.
Yeah, he's Da Vinci of Ole Miss's campus.
Close enough.
Yeah. Still developing his other skills, but at quarterback, we've seen him able to turn the corner against some very athletic players already in the SEC. We have an official running to the near side of the field. The pylon has been misplaced. We know where it is, but it's in the wrong spot. So a pylon malfunction, and off we go. Is that a bad moon in the sky? I think that might be a problem for our night. We'll find out.
Everything has a place. Everything in its place, right?
That pylon has two places. Now, Plumlee, we'll see him and Matt Corral at quarterback, we think, at points during the night. This is Scotty Phillips against a very stout defense for Mizzou, and we think they may stack the box tonight.
Well, they're playing that 3-4 front, and you get a nose guard over the tackle, and then those two ends, they aren't wide. They're on the inside shade of the tackle, so they're trying to stop everything inside and forcing it outside.
Plumlee goes inside here. Ball came loose. It's on the deck and a fight for it at the 30-yard line. And Ole Miss is going to keep this ball.
That ball kicks around quite a bit. Scotty Phillips, 22, ultimately comes up with it after it was on the carpet for a good 2 or 3 seconds.
Cameron Wilkins, the replacement for Cale Garrett, pried it free. On a third down, deep ball, incomplete. He wanted Elijah Moore, his most frequent target by far, but Mizzou, which is the king of 3-and-outs in the SEC, gets one to open.
Well, that's going to be the challenge for Plumlee. That Missouri defense will try and load the box and stuff everything on first down and put him into passing situations and really find out if the youngster can throw. You see Matt Corral, the other redshirt freshman quarterback, giving him some pointers there.
Couple of youngsters talking it over. That's a quarterback room full of newcomers as Mac Brown punts it away to the returner and slot receiver Jonathan Johnson, who muffs it. And Ole Miss is on the football. A.J. Finley got down there at the bottom of the pile to create the turnover.
He was in great position to make the catch, called for the fair catch, and then just lost it there. Yeah, no sun, no lights to be a concern. He just muffed it.
So you hope the advice that Plumlee got from Corral sticks quickly, because it took about 30 seconds for him to get back on the field.
Well, again, I expect you to have Ole Miss spill things to the outside, try to run to the outside, because running inside against that front is going to be a challenge.
It's a strong running attack for Ole Miss. Last 2 games, they've run for 692 yards.
Yeah, this is a really good run defense. But the way they have their 3-4 set up, it's difficult to get in that A gap or B gap because of that 3-4 is really focused there.
They'll get Plumlee outside, and that's incomplete down at the feet of Moore. And third down coming up. When you say A gap and B gap, where should people's eyes go when they're running the ball?
Well, they want to run the ball between the guard and the center, or between the guard and the tackle. And the way that 3-4 aligns, it's hard to do that. And so everything gets pushed to the outside, and they haven't gone outside yet.
Plumlee, end zone, touchdown, Scotty Phillips.
Just a wheel route out of the backfield of Scotty Phillips, and Plumlee waited for him and waited, and he was wide open. Little confusion with the linebackers trying to figure out who's got him, and it's single coverage, and when you don't get to the quarterback, that is a mismatch. You're asking way too much for your outside linebacker to try to hang on there.
His position coach, Phillips, Derek Nix, said the one thing about him is he gets up to top speed very quickly, and he got to top speed fast here on the wheel. Beautiful ball from Plumlee. Ole Miss takes the early lead on the road. Just the second touchdown Mizzou has allowed in the first quarter all year long, and it comes on a very short field from the muff punt from Jonathan Johnson. Touchback, Kevin. And now, for the first time, Bryant takes a snap in this game, and Larry Roundtree, the tailback, finds a little bit of a seam. But Kelly Bryant 20-3 as a starting quarterback. A lot of that coming at Clemson. Trevor Lawrence takes over 4 games in. Bryant leaves and comes here.
Yeah, he's a grad transfer, and the book on him has been, hey, he's a running quarterback, and he begs to differ and wants to prove that he's more than that here at Missouri.
Jonathan Johnson, the slot man who just had the muff punt, and we were talking about it during the break. That muff punt happened in part because Rashad Floyd is injured for Mizzou. So Johnson, who just had that catch, takes over as the punt returner, and immediately Mizzou has a problem.
Yeah, that may be an issue all night for them. They'll get that cleaned up.
3rd down and 1 for Bryant. Roundtree has the first down, just short of the 40-yard line, as we take a look at tonight's Impact Players, brought to you by Chick-fil-A. Cue the cow.
Well, you just saw one of them.
Wait for the cow.
Well, no. I mean, Roundtree didn't wait for the cow. And Wilkins, the linebacker, who steps in, and you see Benito Jones in there. He is the big defensive lineman who's having a terrific season. Elijah Moore is the receiver who is by far the most productive for Ole Miss.
They run to the outside, and Bryant is hit by Jalen Jones. If anybody's going to wait for the cow, it's number 95 in the middle for Ole Miss, Benito Jones, who has a farm that he runs that we'll tell you about during tonight's telecast. But Benito Jones, 95, is a fixer for this Ole Miss defense in the middle.
Yeah, he can correct some things, and right now correcting the quarterback and trying to figure out what Bryant is doing and how well he moves is the real challenge. They want to make sure that they don't let him get to the edge at all.
Jones gets double teamed there, and Bryant wings it out to the sideline. Beautiful ball to Johnson, and a Mizzou first down.
How's that for the running quarterback, huh? That's a beautiful throw on that corner route. Gets great protection, and watch him step into this. He has a live arm, and, you know, the narrative, the two narratives about him, running quarterback, and the other one was, hey, here's a guy who quit on Clemson. He begs to differ. There's another side to the story.
Sprint out for Bryant. Throws to the short side. Jonathan Nance, his roommate, is inside the 20 and a first down.
You know, the story when Bryant left Clemson was that he left the team after 4 games and he quit. We talked to Odom, the head coach, yesterday, and he said, look, he was concerned about that too. But there's another side of the story, but Bryant won't talk about it until after the season. But he said, let me just tell you, I had to earn his trust, because a trust was broken for him at Clemson.
Yeah, when Barry Odom said that, that spoke volumes for the need for this opportunity for Kelly Bryant. Johnson giving ground. A stiff arm gets him back to the line of scrimmage as Haynes makes the stop. So 2nd down for Mizzou, and Johnson's injured.
And it's been hard for Bryant not to say anything since leaving Clemson, and for his family for that matter, that he's just kind of quietly gone about his business while these narratives have been out there about him. And
2nd down and 9 for Kelly Bryant, splitting Roundtree, the running back, out wide. Bryant hit, eludes the pressure, and Bryant makes something out of nothing. Now, you said he's not necessarily a running quarterback. He can run, though.
His mobility, his escapability, I think is his #1 trait. He was out early for warm-ups, jumping around as if to say to the world, I'm fine. My left knee, no problem. I can run, I can cut. Watch me go tonight.
That play showed that as well. 3rd down and 6 for Bryant.
Well, he may be thinking over there, their best receiver is their tight end.
Albert Okue-Bunam, an NFL prospect. He looks the other way, and it's incomplete. Jalen Jones says no, sir. Jalen knocks the intended target, and 4th down.
I think I might have been looking for Okue-Bunam anyway. I mean, he's such a big target and such an athlete. You know, down there in the red zone, he's a guy that you really kind of want to find. 6'5", 255. I'm surprised they didn't look his way.
Tucker McCann with a strong leg at 7 for 10. He both place kicks and punts for Mizzou. And this is good. 31 yards away. Mizzou is on the board, trailing by 4 halfway through the first. Big one next week in that division of the Big Ten, as Ely lets it bounce in the end zone. So Ely the back. Plumlee carries for half a yard if that.
And what they've done well on this drive twice is they've moved Plumlee out of the pocket. They've rolled him to his right twice. Now his height when he's standing in the pocket is an issue in terms of seeing downfield. So they like to get him out on the edge, roll him out, and have him throw on the run.
He's got a 2nd down and 10 here. There's that sprint out, the throw on the run. He hits Moore, who gives some ground to gain some more. Elijah Moore with a 1st down. That's exactly what you're talking about, Quint. Get him a clean look, and he makes the throw.
Yeah, they're rolling Plumlee out. And Plumlee has to be alert at all times. Watch this hit here. You know, he takes a hit after releasing the ball. You know, we've had a number of quarterbacks knocked around and knocked out of games and unable to play in the SEC and other conferences.
We saw Helinski go out for South Carolina. Though they did win the game, they went down to their 3rd quarterback of the year. And it has been major trouble to keep guys healthy in the SEC and elsewhere. Florida has lost a couple of quarterbacks during games this year. Trask hurt last week. He'll play tonight. Ball's loose. Plumlee had it in the belly of Ely, and it came out Mizzou football. Jatorian Hansford, the defensive end, plucks it. That was a long mesh.
It was. And a mistake. And Plumlee actually had a chance to get on it, but couldn't get it with his arms. And now Missouri is in business.
Mizzou recovers an Ole Miss fumble on the exchange from quarterback to running back. And so Kelly Bryant in the offense, which has been stagnant in the first quarter, takes the reins again.
Yeah, Ole Miss has controlled the game. That last drive was 13 plays, 45 yards, more than 4 minutes, and then a fumble.
Tyler Beatty, the sophomore, just short of the 40-yard line. A great athlete, Tyler Beatty, some outstanding speed, and he'll be in to spell Roundtree periodically.
Yeah, and I think at some point here they've got to get Roundtree more touches and get him going. He brings that physicality to the Missouri offense. He's not in there right now.
And for 703 as a freshman, 3rd best in school history for a freshman. This one goes to Johnson, who's just short of the line to gain. We'll see if Mizzou can get one more play going before the quarter ends. Substitution, so now the ball's ready for play. Bryant to throw, pressure around the corner. That's a dagger down the middle for Johnson. And a 1st down, Mizzou.
And Johnson's down at the end, but how about that for an intermediate throw, huh?
That was a laser.
You have questions about his ability to throw that ball? There's an answer.
That is the end of the first quarter.
29-yard hit from Bryant to Johnson, who had the earlier muff. He comes off the field. Ole Miss on the road has the lead after 15 minutes. So after a quarter, the road underdog has the lead in the SEC. Stop us if you've heard that already today. 7-3 Ole Miss. Kelly Bryant and Mizzou have the ball, wrapping on the door. And Bryant is swarmed. 3 white jerseys, including Sam Williams, who was hurt earlier.
Yeah, Sam Williams was not fooled at all. He saw the guard and tackle pull. He just got right in behind him and went right after Bryant. That's a great read. Really smart play.
Far side. And Jalen Jones right there on the coverage. It's a short gain for Albert Okwuegbunam. 3rd down and long coming for Mizzou.
Oh, you have to keep thinking about the matchup with Johnson. He's back in the game, number 12, after being out for a play or two after that catch. He looks fine out there, and he's an advantage in a matchup. And right now he's working against a safety again.
See how many Ole Miss brings here. Got 6 up at the line. They bring 5, and Bryant down the middle has a first down for Johnson in that slot, Rod.
Look, any time you get him with a safety, that's an automatic. You've got to go to him. This is a mismatch. There is no way he's going to be covered that way. I mean, you're going to have to change up on 3rd down. You got to double him or something, but you can't put a safety on him.
That was a strike in stride and a great hand catch.
Couple of strong throws by Kelly Bryant on this drive, Quint. 6 for 73 now for Johnson already in the game. The favorite target for Bryant. Little juggle on the snap. He throws the screen. And a catch and run for Beatty. Down the sideline, Tyler Beatty, touchdown.
They confused Ole Miss with a double screen, if you will. They set one up to the right side with 1 lineman and then set this up to the left side, bringing 2 linemen out. And Beatty made it all work himself, made a couple guys miss.
How about Nance, the receiver, downfield with an engaged block all the way to the 5?
Yeah, really aggressive. But that play confused the Ole Miss defense because they had 1 lineman on one side of the field and then others heading out to the other side.
Well diagrammed. Klang on the extra point. Little postage for McCann, but Mizzou does take the lead. Kelly Bryant, well designed for Mizzou, and Beatty for the touchdown. You're watching the SEC on ESPN, and a little sleight of hand from Mizzou, Rod Gilmore.
Yeah, they have a way of causing a little confusion, making the Ole Miss defense think twice. And when you think a couple times on defense, you're a little late on plays.
So Mizzou has its first lead in this game at 1-0 in the SEC. Ole Miss will have it at the 25.
Bryant didn't have a bad drive at all, did he?
No, perfect. 5 for 5. What they say in some circles is you make a better door than a window when you're trying to look through a screener like Yasir Bryant over there. It's a big dude off the screen. And this run goes nowhere. Connor gets drilled. And to Kevin Connors, who didn't get drilled. How about that? An undefeated spares itself with a big comeback win. They scored a lot of points in that second half, by the way.
What a job Matt Rule's doing there, huh?
That has been an impressive turnaround after all that happened with that program. The ugly stuff with the Baylor Bears as this run's going nowhere, and Mizzou's defense has some volatility right now.
A big hit over there that time by Jarvis Ware, the corner on that side.
Ole Miss has been 2/3 runs so far. Plumlee has not challenged a whole lot down the field, though he does have a touchdown pass to the running back Phillips. Another sprint out. Plumlee short of the marker. They'll turn it upfield and pick up the first down. So Ole Miss does move the sticks to Octavius Cooley, the tight end.
Yeah, you try tackling a 270-pound tight end and keep him from getting the first down.
I am out for that every day of the week. It's a big dude. You wouldn't shy away from that sort of contact,
no.
would you?
You have to be crazy to do that, and we were all crazy enough to do it.
Plumlee again dancing to the outside with Bolton, and he gets swatted out of bounds after a short gain.
How would you like to be Bolton? Your job is to chase down the guy who might be the fastest guy on the field.
Yeah. The good part about that for Bolden is he gets more responsibility, can show what he can do. This is a tough day to have that onus on you. As you see Michigan Penn State coming up next Saturday after a big one tonight in the Big Ten, as that ball's behind Moore and it's 3rd down.
Yeah, good thing it was behind Moore for Plumlee, because had he been on target, that ball might have been picked and going the other way for 6 points for Jamal Brooks. Anytime you get into a 3rd down with him, you have to think about that quarterback draw, as Q mentioned earlier. So if you're Brooks and you're spying, you better be alert.
Ely, the tailback, leaked out of the backfield. Plumlee didn't have a chance to get it there. And Mizzou does get a stop. Turner on the pursuit along with Elliott, and it's 4th down.
What a great call on that 3rd down, Q. They brought pressure, a lot of it.
Yeah, and Matt Luke thought contact was made with Plumlee when he was out of bounds on the white, sending the quarterback sliding into the bench area. Coach Luke all over this officiating crew.
Q, you're absolutely right. And in the NFL, that's a penalty and probably a fine.
Looked like he was just taking that last step out of bounds when the contact came, so no flag comes in. And Brown with a punt to the 10-yard line. We're talking about protecting the quarterbacks earlier. That time Plumlee takes a hit. Mizzou will get it when we come back.
You can see his golden nose, and it's actually because students will come and rub his nose for good luck.
Gotta get the good luck.
What did you get on the test?
99.
99, that's an A.
Yeah, so it works.
Should the Cardinals rub the nose?
I don't think the Cardinals need the luck.
Oh, you were right, Quint. You were real right, because the Cardinals are down 2-0. Why were you so surprised you got a 99?
I never came near a 99, so when I hear people get really good grades, it's always kind of shocking. I majored in C minuses.
Did you really? You learn so much around these campuses we go to. What else do you have on David Francis, the former governor, and his nose?
Barry Odom, when he was a student here, he rubbed it, and it worked for him. The students believe in it.
What happens if people rub your nose that we're seeing right now?
Not quite sure. They have a gorgeous quad and a gorgeous campus here. I also learned that with these old pillars.
Here's a handoff for Roundtree. Stiff arm for Roundtree and a 1st down.
Maybe Roundtree rubbed the nose today, because it's a nice little run. He's starting to get going here. Good stiff arm here. Gets him an extra 5 yards.
Thunder and Lightning. Roundtree the Thunder, Beatty the Lightning. They're both in the game now.
They work together. We've not seen that a whole lot. They'll break off the formation and send the tight ends to unbalanced on the right. Go with Beatty. Behind Parker with a block. Beatty's got a 1st down and then some. That was beautiful.
Well, when Beatty's in the game, he's not there for show. He's not a decoy. He's there to touch the football. They want him to get it about 12 to 15 times a game. He is also an elite runner. All this window dressing to get him a chance to get to the edge. He gets a lead block and shows you his speed.
Roundtree squeezes through the hole and gets yanked down by Henry. There's a lot there, though, because we've seen so many starting quarterbacks get injured, too, that maybe those opportunities would have come at the other school. But that's how markets work. You let guys do what they need to do in order to have the best players on the field the most.
College football has benefited from the transfer rule this year.
Roundtree wheeling. That is a pretty run from Roundtree.
We're starting to get into the Roundtree time. You know, they didn't give him the ball early the first series or two. But look at that spin move. Spins right out of that tackle. Moving on his way. Lakia Henry had him with that one hand, spun out of it. But he can carry it 20 times a game.
His name's Roundtree. You got to be ready for the spin, right? Yeah. There's a round right in there.
That's a good point, but there's no D there, so I'm going to have to give you a demerit for that.
Well, there was no D on that play either. He got the 1st down. Beatty inside the 40-yard line, 2nd down coming up. That's the Thunder and Lightning Quint was talking about there.
Yeah. The only time I've seen Roundtree spelled without a D.
Yeah.
R-O-U-N-T-R-E-E. Yeah. No D.
No D.
And as you said, no D when he's running the ball.
Yeah, the cynics are saying, well, that happens in college football every Saturday. There's not enough D. 2nd down and 7, 10th play of the drive. The defenses have held the line so far in this game for the most part. Albert shimmies toward the marker.
That is the 10th play of this drive. Missouri settling in. Bryant settling in. Tempo. They're not wasting any time here.
This team has elite skill. Tight end, the slot, the 2 running backs, the veteran quarterback. The only thing they lack in my eyes from field level here, Rod, is a tall, lanky, downfield, deep threat. You know, that 6'3" receiver that can run posts and fades. Otherwise, they got all the pieces on offense.
Yeah, and, you know, they can use their tight end, Okuaboom, down in the red zone for that.
He's been a major red zone target. He's the leader with 5 touchdowns. NFL aspirations, whether after this year or next. Roundtree to the 30. It's a gain of 1.
Yeah, that's rough. He's running inside there with Benito Jones, 95, and you know you're not moving him easily. He's, what was the phrase he told us? Country strong.
Well, he learned a lot of football stuff from his work on his farm back in Waynesboro, Mississippi. He and his family run a farm back there as Bryant wanted to load up, and now he's grabbed by the waist at the 30 from Evans, and it's a 3rd and long.
Yeah, Bryant looks fine. His mobility has not been hampered by that need, but pretty good play here as you see the tackle coming around by Evans, chasing him down. I do wonder if they will come back and use Bryant again, move him out of the pocket some, let him use his legs, because he is not limited tonight at all.
You don't see anything that suggests that?
Nope. He looks good.
Kelly Bryant to throw. Deep ball down the middle. Batted away. Great recovery by DeAndre Prince, the freshman.
There is no sin in getting beat as a defensive back. There is a sin in not recovering. And Prince recovers and gets his hands up there and spoils what would have been a beautiful touchdown pass from Bryant. Great, great recovery.
Partied like it's 1999. Ball was a little bit late. This is a 48-yard field goal for McCann. Long this year is 52. McCann does squeeze it through, and Mizzou makes it 12-7. And for the first time today, Matt Corral out of Ventura, California, comes in to play quarterback. Plumlee just 6 for 14, so Corral's in.
Well, Corral is the better passer. He was the starter to open the season, got hurt in the Cal game, and this is the first week he's been completely healthy.
They throw it on his first play, and he's on target across the 35-yard line to Drummond for a first down. So he's a top 10 recruit out of the state of California. Matt Corral started the first 4 games of the year. He's not exactly Rich Rodriguez's prototypical quarterback, but he wants to get them both in. They say they have 2 starters.
Well, remember, he got here before Rich Rodriguez did, and there was a different system, and now he's running this run-first system. Here's an overhang player.
Corral, little pump, and the go didn't happen. Second down. For folks just getting acquainted, when you say overhang and you look for an overhang player, what are you looking for?
Well, you're looking for guys who are outside of the box, outside of that area near the line of scrimmage. And typically they are out there to provide an edge, to keep the ball inside. So when you induce them inside, you can throw behind them.
Down the middle, Corral has it to Moore, and Elijah Moore wrestles his way across the 30. Gain of 23.
Well, Bledsoe, the safety, thought he had that ball. And this ball was thrown so hard. Watch Bledsoe. He comes in front. When you go in front, you got to get it as a defensive back. He thought he had it, but that ball was thrown so hard, he could not get it.
That's the difference in the arm that you're talking about right there. Phillips to the 25 for Ole Miss. Again, this is a dangerous Ole Miss rush game. They've averaged nearly 350 yards rushing the last 2 weeks.
And they've got a guy now out there who can really throw it. And it's not like the coverage has been poor by Missouri.
Tip ball incomplete. Third down coming up. Kevin, thank you. Mizzou fans will be interested in that Florida LSU score over on ESPN.
Hey, this is all open here. They're going zero coverage. The middle of the field is wide open.
They rush 6. Ole Miss picks it up, and that's a strike for Moore. One more time.
Yep.
First down.
Yep. Great job by Corral. He recognized no one's in the middle of the field. You've got to take advantage of that.
Impressed with the way Corral can come off the bench and seamlessly run this offense. Ole Miss coaching staff telling us that they split reps in practice, and it's paying off right now.
Connor dancing inside the 5 and clubbed down for a 2nd and goal. Trey Williams was in on it.
Q, you know, they're actually running 2 different offenses. You know, one with Plumlee and one with Corral. Corral certainly comes in firing the ball, running the RPO system. They don't do that with Plumlee. It's much more of his zone read type offense with him.
Straight up the gut for Connor down to the 1.
I think it's a credit, Rod, for the rest of this group to be able to change gears without effort.
This is seamless. You said it, Quint. Great drive for Corral. One more run right to the doorstep and shoved back.
No, he's not in.
Connor is short. It's 4th down and goal. So they can run this all the way down. Mizzou gets the ball in the 2nd half. You go for it here?
I think if you are Matt Luke, you go for it.
He's a former center.
Yeah, and you've got a young team. You're trying to build stuff for the future. You've got seniors who want to win now. Look at him. Yeah, he is all about going for it. I get it.
He says trips in the wide receivers, 4th and goal. They'll run it straight ahead. And Mizzou holds. Trey Williams got into Connor. What a stop on homecoming.
Stuck at the line of scrimmage. The Tigers take over.
Corral tried to will him in.
Low man wins on the goal line. And Missouri got lower. Look at how they reestablished the line of scrimmage about a yard away from the goal line. Low man wins.
That is the end of the line for the first half. An entertaining first half punctuated by a stonewall of the Ole Miss offense from Kelly Bryant's defense. 12-7 your halftime score. Our Mazda halftime report after these messages. Welcome back to college football on ESPN, presented by Nationwide. Mizzou comes in with the 2nd best yardage defense in the FBS, and they hold Ole Miss to 7 points. 12-7 your halftime score. A lot of possible East Division implications. Jason and Rod Quint downstairs. They bet they didn't break.
Yeah, you know, we thought this was a pretty good defense at Missouri, and we thought tonight would be a real good test. Well, so far they have been as advertised.
They've dealt with 2 quarterbacks for Ole Miss. We saw Corral at the end of the half, Plumlee for the balance of the first half. What do you think we get in the second half?
I think they will continue to give us both, because Plumlee has been good running the ball and Corral has been great throwing it. Now, if you could combine the two in one series, that probably would satisfy a lot of Ole Miss fans. But until then, you're going to get them both, I think.
Mizzou will have the ball first after the goal line stand to end the first half. Let's see if Quint, as a flag comes in, so an out-of-bounds kick. Let's see if Quint has an answer to who's playing quarterback for Ole Miss. Q?
Who is Matt Corral?
Nicely done.
That is the answer for Ole Miss, who you'll probably see to start the second half, according to head coach Matt Luke. Two things to look for here. Ole Miss, big plays.
Out of bounds on the kicking team. The ball will be placed at the 35-yard line.
Where does an explosive play lie with this offense? And then defensively, Missouri has done a wonderful job tackling in this game early on John Rice Plumlee, and none of the receivers from Ole Miss have been able to create those big plays. So I think tackling remains a key for this Missouri defense.
Q, I don't know that the chunk plays for Ole Miss can come if you don't have Moore or Ely involved. And Missouri's paid close attention to them so far tonight.
Yeah, Ely has not seen much of the football at all. They said they want to get him about 12 touches, and he's not close to that. But Mizzou first here in the second half. Kelly Bryant, the Clemson transfer, fading in the pocket, little deke with the shoulders, and nifty job to get a couple of yards.
Yeah, even to get back to the line of scrimmage. That pocket collapsed on him, and he was able to extend the play. It's one of the traits that he has, you know, that really helps this team. You talk about whether Missouri can be a factor in the East. They've got a good defense and a veteran, smart quarterback. That's a pretty good place to start.
Yeah, and Quint talked about it. The skill running around the offense, good slot receiver, possible NFL tight end. Bryant with Benito Jones in his face throws a strike to Cam Scott. That is a big guy bearing down on him.
That is big time. He hung in there. Kelly Bryant staying in to take the hit and then throwing a bullet to Scott. Look at that. That's big. Benito Jones, the farmer, the country strong guy.
That is country strong. Right in your kisser. Roundtree doubling back. Roundtree, great run for 8.5.
Yeah, he had to adjust because Benito Jones destroyed the interior of that offensive line on that play. He blew everything up and forced Roundtree to improvise.
He's got such a strong punch, Rod. He punches and then keeps his feet moving. He took his guy about 3 yards into the backfield, but a great cutback from Roundtree. Benito Jones inside. He can two-gap you as a nose guard. That's standing up to center and working both gaps. He can also penetrate and make himself slithery on passing downs.
Pocket holds up this time. A spinner to the sideline, incomplete. Kevin Connors in the studio. They love that new offense in Baton Rouge, that's for sure.
You got a guy like Burrows throwing a bunch of touchdowns. Why wouldn't you love it? Yeah.
Roundtree on the accelerator and gone. Happy homecoming. Roundtree touchdown.
41-yard touchdown by number 34, Larry Roundtree.
Now watch the left side. See the double team by Durant and Wallace Sims? That opens up the hole, a huge hole that Roundtree gets into. And then he just makes it very hard on Jones, who tries to make a diving tackle.
Larry Roundtree with the touchdown and another piece of yellow paint off a football and an extra point.
It's been an adventure tonight for the PAT team.
Now, if on homecoming you wanted a gold football, you would just paint it gold and not knock it off the upright a couple of times.
Give that man a gold star for that run.
They'd rather have that, that's for sure. You're watching the SEC on ESPN as we welcome you back to Columbia, Missouri, and the columns. College football on ESPN presented by Nationwide. Mizzou has taken an 11-point lead. A couple of missed extra points. We'll see if it harms them at some point tonight. But Roundtree with the longest play of the game, a 41-yard run. And Ole Miss needs a sustained drive or some points coming up soon early in this third quarter. It's Matt Corral out of the state of California. And he was nearly caught. He wings it to the sideline. There's a flag that's come down at the 21. It's a first down for now.
Personal foul, face mask on the defense, number 28. 15-yard penalty will be added to the end of the run. Automatic first down.
It's on Jatorian Hansford, and a big penalty for a Missouri team that has struggled with penalties at points this year, averaging about 70 penalty yards a game.
That's the end of it there.
Puts Ole Miss across midfield. Corral loads up a ball that's batted.
Well, the change in quarterbacks when you have Corral in there makes the offense a little bit more predictable in the sense that you know you're getting a lot of slants, RPO from them, and Missouri is acting accordingly. Give credit to Ryan Walters, their defensive coordinator.
Well, shovel pass gets submarine. There's Bolton and Wilkins together, the replacements for Garrett.
And remember, they're doing all this without Garrett out there. Their leading tackler. Bolton's having himself a night. This is a big hit.
You said low man wins at the goal line. Low man won there too. 3rd and 9. Quick set. Ball's behind and incomplete. He was throwing for Mingo. And it's 4th down.
Yeah, the coverage was so loose. Mingo was open there. Had that ball been on target or in front, that's a first down. Now, if you wonder about their stop rate, they were at 84%, which means that they stopped the offense from any kind of a score. You've got to end a punt or turnover on downs 84% of the time. No scores against them on that. That's amazing.
You saw Cale Garrett, who was a big part of that. The question coming into today was, could they keep those numbers up without him on the field? And the only touchdown they've allowed in this game is off a short field. Foot was in the end zone when the ball was touched.
Doesn't matter. It's where is the ball. Where your body is doesn't matter. So did the ball break the plane? That's the issue.
So watch. He was so far back, it looked like the ball had crossed. We'll see.
Can't tell from that angle.
Well, the beanbag went down in the end zone, and it looked like the call was going to be touchback.
The ball never broke the plane of the goal line.
Never broke the plane.
It will be first down from the half-yard line.
Yeah. See, it doesn't matter where his body is. It is simply where is the ball. Pushing hay, baling hay on a farm.
That might be 5 against Ole Miss. Austrian Robinson was first in, and he swam into the end zone.
You can't do that, right?
Oh no.
You can't let him off the hook.
Offside on the defense, number 95, contact. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
If I'm Hartsfield, I'm like, all that hard work I did, and you give it up like that?
That is as crushing of a play, or could be, as we've seen tonight. We'll see where this drive goes. They do get Benito Jones. Robinson was in there too. Roundtree, the tailback. Bryant to throw. He's got the first down. Give it back, get it back, and Nance, who was dancing right on the tightrope, does hit the marker and then some. First down. This drive could be a hugely pivotal drive in this game. That penalty could be.
Just a little RPO, a little run-pass option. He sees the overhang defender coming in with the fake on the run and just throws a slant behind him. They get out of danger. They're not near the end zone any longer.
Kelly Bryant has loads of time. A ton of time. Too much time for Ole Miss. Beatty with a big slash just short of the 20-yard line.
We've seen this before. The wheel route. Watch Beatty come out of the backfield. He is with a linebacker. That is a mismatch. Great protection allows Bryant to wait and get the ball down the field. There is no way Sam Williams at 250 pounds can stay with Beatty.
Mizzou's created mismatches all night long, and they did right there for a 49-yard hit, the longest play of the game. Beatty double teamed and knocked back, thrown out of bounds.
We saw Ole Miss do the wheel route with Phillips, and we see Missouri come back with it. Hey, any wheel route you can run, we can run better.
Jason, you referenced Beatty. I was fortunate enough, you said he grew up in Baltimore. He played for the Friends School where my nephew played. I watched Tyler Beatty play football 6th through 10th grade.
Huh.
He also was a basketball player and a talented young lacrosse player before moving to Memphis, where the SEC ultimately found him.
He's fit in everywhere he's gone as an athlete and as a young man, as that's incomplete for Jacinto. 3rd down.
Q, was he a good lacrosse player?
He was becoming an exceptional lacrosse player. And Jason knows, covering Syracuse lacrosse, what would Tyler Beatty look like playing Division I lacrosse?
Oh,
I mean,
man.
He was Gale Sayers in a pretty low-level league in Baltimore High School. And I'd go watch him, and he'd score 5 touchdowns and run sideline to sideline. Just some incredible plays, and just fruitful for him that he moved to Memphis and he was found by an SEC school.
A number of football players have played the crossover in lacrosse. As it's 3rd and 10 here. Kelly Bryant unloads down the sideline, and that's incomplete.
Yeah, that was a bad decision by Bryant. He made up his mind right at the start that he was going to Johnson because he was in the slot. He wanted him, but he was double covered. He should have looked elsewhere, and that was going to be a difficult throw. He threw it on a line, had no chance to find him with that, but that was not the place to go with the football. He knows it very well.
Now, how do you feel if you're Barry Odom about your kicker who's missed 2 extra points? McCann's ready from 39 to make it a 2-touchdown lead, and this one is good. So he's been true a couple of times on field goals and doinked a few extra points. 21-7, the Tigers lead. So who will play quarterback this time around? That's the mystery. And this is through the end zone. TJ's out again this week with his Achilles injury, so Ryan Clark's back with Boomer on NFL Primetime, 7:30 Eastern Time, only on ESPN Plus. It lives right there. SVP and Joe Tess are there too. Highlights and breakdowns from all the day's games. To get ESPN Plus, download the app or go to ESPN Plus.
Did you say Joe Tess is there also?
I did, yeah. He's hanging out and maybe having a bottle of red afterward.
With some pretty good appetizers, maybe?
Anything the kitchen has to offer, right? Isn't that how it goes when you're out to dinner with Joe Tess? All right, Corral's in at quarterback. 21-7 your score. Ole Miss trailing by 2 touchdowns, and Phillips will sidestep, and he is lit up by Jordan Elliott, who has rented the backfield at points tonight.
Yeah, he's a problem. He's a big problem inside at 6'4", 315, and he just destroyed that offensive line that time. I mean, he got underneath and pushed behind the guard and the center. It was in the backfield. They got to find a way to deal with him.
Young man who worked so hard to transform his body in high school and beyond. Paying off here. Corral, sideline route, a lot of hand fighting, and incomplete. He wanted Drummond, who was right there with AC on the coverage.
And I'm wondering if Plumlee doesn't get back out here. It's been a long time. Not on this play, obviously, on 3rd down, but the next series I would expect to see him out here. It's been a while since they had him on the field, and his running ability gives him the option of a big play. But on this 3rd down, where do you go if you're Corral? I mean, Elijah Moore is the obvious candidate in the slot if he can get protection here.
Corral, there is more, and he's dropped short of the line of game, but a flag is down.
The receiver downfield on the offense number 55. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
He was like running a different play, guys.
Yeah.
Let's see it. There he goes.
Are we hot?
I mean, sometimes things happen.
Well, you know, Gibbons is right next to him, though, you know, and those guys are best buds.
They have their own handshake.
With shake and bake.
Shake and bake.
Shake and bake. That's got to be from Talladega Nights, right?
If you're not first, you're last. You know how that
Bobby,
goes.
and Cal.
This is a fair catch. The schedule's favorable. Yes, they've been home for 5 games. However, they go on the road for 3. There are a couple winnable ones here.
Well, you have to like your chances if you're Missouri for your next couple of games. You're at Vandy. You're at Kentucky. You handle those 2 games after tonight. If you close out this game, you get to November and you've got a race. You've got an SEC race.
Yeah, absolutely. And the question is, will Mizzou win its appeal of the postseason ban? Because if they were to not do that, they would be disqualified from being able to go to the SEC championship game, and the second place team in the division would go instead. Short run.
Yeah, keep in mind that they were hit with sanctions this year in January of 2019.
Dating back to 3 years before
3 years
that,
before
2016.
Them. Yep. And part of the penalty included a postseason ban for this year, which they have appealed. They have not heard about that yet. They expect to hear before the end of the season.
But they have no information on where that appeals process is going. Dawkins to the outside, lowers the shoulder. It'll be 3rd down and short. So here's what happened. You get the 1-year postseason ban, a reduction in scholarships as well, recruiting restrictions for a season. They appealed in March, and they're still awaiting that ruling.
Well, and part of what's bothering the folks in Missouri is that they self-imposed some sanctions. They did their own investigation, and if you, according to them, you look at some of the precedent for the NCAA, teams that have done that haven't been hit with the kind of penalties that they got hit with. Otherwise, the point is, why cooperate?
Yep.
That's kind of their point. And so they're hoping that this ban will be overturned. And we know from talking to head coach Odom, this team is playing with a chip on its shoulder about this appeal situation.
There you see the difference after that fateful trip in the shadow of the Arena Auditorium in Laramie. Another sneak, and when you got Kelly Bryant sneaking the ball, you're probably going to get half a yard.
Yeah, don't underestimate the impact of Kelly Bryant. This team had a lot of things in place except for quarterback. Drew Lock moved on to the NFL, and they were looking for a guy. As a matter of fact, Odom told us that the moment that Bryant's name hit the transfer portal, they called him first. They were the first team to get in on it.
Yeah, they believe they were the first one to say, hey, come here. Run it again. Dawkins breaking through. Inside the 10 and stretching for the touchdown. Dawson Downing for the score, and it's 27-7. Oh yeah, he got in there.
Yeah, but is he down before that ball breaks the line, breaks the plane?
Big old smile on his face, and a big old lead for Mizzou. Movement at the line, and the extra point is good this time. Snuck it through. At 28-7, Mizzou. Healy lets it fly. Mizzou could end the night as Plumlee comes back in at quarterback. Mizzou could end the night as the only unbeaten team in the conference in the SEC East. And if you had that after they lost in Laramie, congratulations.
Yeah.
But this defense has some teeth now.
Yeah, you know, Plumlee had the first 3 drives and 7 points. And then Matt Corral was in, had 5 drives in a row and didn't produce any points. Now you're back to Plumlee, but you're still facing that same tough defense.
Plumlee, 3rd down, and the crowd will swell as they come to the line.
So this is back to offense number 1. This is the zone read based offense with the guard tackle counter that they run. Rich Rod has really had those things honed to perfection over the years as the offensive coordinator here.
Plumlee on the move. He's got the 1st down, and he steps out of bounds.
He's actually a beautiful runner. The stride, the swiftness, it's enjoyable to watch him run.
There's grace.
Yes, there's a lot of grace to it. Yeah.
71 yards on the ground for Plumlee. You know, we talked about Plumlee and how he is in the huddle, and there goes the ball. It spits out of the grasp of Ely, and Mizzou's got it with Bledsoe. They'll let it play out. Bledsoe on the run, and he's just short of midfield.
And the question is, was Ely down?
You like that they let it play out?
Yes, absolutely.
Because now you can go back and review.
Although I'm sure there are a lot of parents.
After the review, the runner was down. It will be Ole Miss's ball at the 41-yard line. 1st down. Please reset the game clock to 3:53, 3:53.
You know, parents forever have been telling their kids, play baseball. I grew up with Ricky Henderson. Ricky was a great football player, and his mother said, you're playing baseball, and I don't want to hear any more.
That's right. Now, you were a 2-way player for a while. You played at Stanford for a year and a half baseball.
Yeah, and if my folks had said, you can't play, I would have said, okay, I'm sorry. I wouldn't have defied them. But they let me decide, so I tried to play both for as long as I could.
A lot of great baseball, football players have done both. Jackie Robinson was a great punt returner at UCLA.
That's right.
A 4-sport star growing up.
So that would be baseball, football, track and field.
And basketball, I believe, is
okay.
is the 4th one.
I got you.
Plumlee on 1st down. Off a block from Ely, the baseball teammates coming together.
He's just faster than everybody else.
He is.
And he has that sense where he can get to the edge, he feels it, he can turn upfield, and he changes that direction easily without losing speed.
We talked about his competitiveness and what he's like in the huddle and how much of a leader he has been very early on in his Ole Miss career. John Rice Plumlee, we told you earlier he played the piano. The story about his piano playing is one of his grandparents played a lot of piano. Then his older sister picked up piano, and his immediate thought was, I need to compete at piano against her. And then he decided that it was a more serene undertaking, but his first instinct is competition.
I'm telling you, he's a Renaissance man. That and great grades to go along with all the other things.
4.0 GPA coming out of Oak Grove High School. Plumlee to throw. Sideline ball for Moore. On target, touchdown.
What a beautiful throw. And what a great route by Moore. Moore gives him enough room. Watch him. He gets to the edge there. He doesn't squeeze this to the sideline. He stays inside, so there's plenty of room for Plumlee to drop that ball. And what a great throw. Nice catch using your hands to go up and get it at the highest point.
8 catches for Moore, who came in with the 2nd highest volume of his team's catches of anybody in the FBS, 2nd highest percentage of all a team's catches. And he's the champion right now.
Yeah, look at this. He's in great position. He beats the safety on that play. Bledsoe.
You told us early about that matchup. I mean, that, big all night.
I just don't think Ole Miss has gone after that as much as they should have tonight. I mean, Missouri has basically said, we're not afraid to have Bledsoe, our safety, line up with Moore and handle him. And for the most part, Bledsoe has won most of those matchups, chiefly because they really haven't attacked him as often as they probably should have.
Still some time here. Ole Miss with a quarter plus. Kelly Bryant will touch the ball at the 25-yard line. Bryant play action. That's a laser, and it's on target. Okue-Bonham rambling inside the 40-yard line.
Love the way Bryant is hanging in there. He knew he was going to get hit. Now, this is big time. Watch him hang in there right down the middle. He knows he's going to get hit, and he manages to get it to Okue-Bonham right away. Big tight end, guy who probably won't be back here next year. He's considered a pretty high draft pick.
Accomplished bass fisherman as well, Albert O, in his spare time when he needs to clear his mind.
You know, it's interesting. He thought about the NFL and whether he was ready to come out as a redshirt sophomore last year. He could have come out, but his dad said, I don't think you're ready. I don't think you're mature enough.
Beatty. Boy, for a smaller guy, he runs much taller and much bigger. Not tall in the bad way, just with more stature than he has.
Yeah, he runs behind his pads very well. He kind of delivers the blow instead of taking the blow. 190 pounds, 5'9".
Missouri taking their time now.
They have not been in many games in the third and fourth quarter. They've sort of had to throttle down offensively over this homestand. Bryant sees the rush coming from Julius and gets out of it for a strike. Jacinto is a yard short.
That is all Kelly Bryant. Talk about extending the play, throwing on the move. And he's got a free hitter coming at him. And he says, you know what, I'm just getting outside of you. And then on the move delivers a perfect throw to Jacinto.
Who grew up in Raytown, a Mizzou fan, Jacinto. He's been injured this year during fall camp, but picks up that first grab. Roundtree. Digging. Roundtree is in. Touchdown. This run game is driving hard tonight.
A little trouble with that handoff. He actually gave it to him at around the upper thigh. Great job by Roundtree to hang on to it.
Extra point is good on the 6th straight scoring drive. Mizzou continues to march down the field here on homecoming, and those push-ups are becoming more plentiful. Minute 2 left in the third quarter. Mizzou continues to punch it in as Ely's back, and he's not going to see the football.
You want to reward good behavior.
No, absolutely. I agree with you. But at some point, if there's enough good behavior on a drive, but you don't feel like you're going the right direction, maybe you're going to make the change at some point. They have already in this game. Plumlee did very well for himself on the last drive. Gillespie chases him out of bounds. Tyree Gillespie, number 9 in gold, is a cool story. Ryan Walters, the defensive coordinator, talked about how tough of a road it was to get here to Mizzou for Gillespie, who had some issues academically and really worked hard in the classroom to make sure that he could get here and play for the Tigers.
Said everybody in the SEC wanted him and then thought, oh, too much of a challenge academically, and then he proved them all wrong.
He's been a great student from what Walters said here at Mizzou. Ely off the spin. Generally, when you're running to second on a double, there's no large man trying to chase you down.
Yeah, well, it's a great play by Jordan Elliott, number 1. They run that guard tackle counter. He's inside here. Watch him as he just gets right inside and he disrupts the pulling lineman. Tremendous play.
He's been great tonight. Elliott has, and his Mizzou defense has held Ole Miss to 14.
That is the end of the
35-14, Mizzou trying to go to 2-0 in the SEC. After Georgia's loss earlier, Florida and LSU tangling. Mizzou's celebrating right now. 15 minutes to go here in Columbia. You're watching the SEC on ESPN. The autumnal chill has fallen over the Midwest. Mizzou's offense leading 35-14, and Matt Corral has checked back in to play quarterback. So Plumlee on the drive gives it back to Corral on a 3rd down coming up, a throwing down. Rolling the pocket, Corral waves him downfield and scores a 1st down. Driving the head into Bledsoe. My goodness. Dropped his shoulder and the ball came out.
Yeah, Corral was determined to get that 1st down. Lowers the shoulder right into Bledsoe. Ball comes out, but man, did he go after that. And then at the end there, Holmes was trying to get the ball, keep it in bounds for Missouri, but couldn't get his hands on it.
So Ole Miss keeps the ball short of the 40-yard line. A little juggle from Corral. He goes down the sideline anyway, and what an adjustment from DeMarcus Gregory. My, oh my.
Tremendous over-the-shoulder catch. Good throw, putting the ball up, giving your receiver a chance. Look at that. Great over-the-shoulder. And this was the moment they saw single coverage out there, they just went right after it.
Set up that reverse earlier. Elijah Moore around the corner, and he's going to have to slam on the brakes. And the cavalry comes. Elliott, Bledsoe.
This is a speedy defense.
Yeah,
one thing, they're a little undersized for the SEC up front, but we've been talking about their movement, their quickness, and you saw it on that play.
You know, Q, you're right. Except for their interior, Elliott and Whiteside, they're not big up front.
On the run, Plumlee touchdown. Ole Miss is hanging around here. Over 13 minutes to go. 2-score game.
Yeah, they won't let go of the rope. Plumlee here. Again, the little quarterback draw behind that guard tackle counter. Waits patiently for that to develop and then gets in behind it. That is a basic play, a staple that they have. They've run it all night. And Plumlee has been really patient for it to get a touchdown run out of it this time.
So I'm get the big hug from his lineman Gibbons, the senior on the right side. Back-to-back touchdown drives for Plumlee and Corral, and Ole Miss still a 2-score game. 35-21 your score. Mizzou's got the lead, but Ole Miss gets it in with Plumlee, and both freshmen are playing some quarterback, both on that last drive, in fact.
Yeah, they used them both on that drive, and it worked out for them. You see the combination, more rushing yards for Plumlee, and then the passing for Plumlee has picked up. Corral started out hot throwing the ball, and then Plumlee sort of picked it up.
Thanksgiving a couple years ago had Virginia and Virginia Tech, and Virginia was changing quarterbacks every down. First down, one guy, second down, different guy, third down, the other guy again. And that didn't work out nearly as well as this has worked, as a short kickoff ends up with Missouri having the ball just short of the 30-yard line. Mizzou gets it back after a 4th down stand, and Roundtree around the corner, and he's on the gas pedal right near the marker for a 1st down.
A little sense that Missouri is thinking, shorten the game now. Run some time off the clock.
You don't want to take one shot here?
No, I want to shorten the clock if I'm Missouri. You're up 2 scores. You can make it harder on Ole Miss.
Down to the 30. People say Kelly Bryant's been through so much with the transfer and everything like that, and he certainly has. But you think back to his junior year of high school, he was at a high school basketball game. He's a high school basketball player. The coach found him in the locker room. He was vomiting blood. He had a blockage in one of his intestines. He had dealt with Crohn's disease in the past, had this blockage, had to have surgery, ended up losing 50 pounds, had to essentially beg his way back on the football field as he was dealing with all these medical issues. And he said, look, I can deal with anything after something like that.
Yeah, he's got great perspective on things.
He winds up and fires, and he's got it inside the 25, and through the car wash goes Cam Scott. What do you think about his delivery and that motion that Bryant uses?
Well, you can tell watching him, he's got a little bit of a hitch. He drops the ball down a little bit before bringing it up. It's a little bit of a hitch. Watch the right hand. Watch it comes down some. Kind of a little bit of a swing before the ball comes up. That's a little bit of a slower delivery, slower release. That's something that, you know, the NFL guys will try to work out of him to make him, you know, lose that and get the ball up and not have that hitch in his throw.
Clock moving down to 9 minutes. Roundtree got hit by his own man.
You know, the Missouri coaching staff is adamant that Kelly Bryant is an NFL quarterback, that he will be drafted or be in someone's camp next year. And I just thought it was really fascinating the way they talked about getting him here. There was no competition for the spot. They told him when they went after him, you're the quarterback, you're the guy we want, you're competing with nobody. And then they had to work to earn his trust, as he said, as Odom told us, because that was important to Kelly after his experience, his latest experience at Clemson.
The implication is that trust had been broken in the past. That one flares out.
Incomplete.
3rd and 7 for Mizzou, and a big play for Bryant in the offense. Over the middle, incomplete. Jones was hooked up with Knox, and it's 4th down and a very important field goal coming up.
Yeah, and a great job by the offensive line picking up the pressure. Look at that blitz. Look at Roundtree stick his nose in there and pick up that blitz so that Kelly Bryant could deliver the ball.
Now remember, Mizzou's missed a couple of extra points, and those loom very large right now in a 14-point game.
Yeah, this field goal now becomes big because it can give you a 3-possession lead.
Tucker McCann from 38. And this is beautiful. 3-score game for Mizzou on homecoming. From the 25, Ole Miss. There's no timetable on when that will come through. John Rice Plumlee turning his back to the 30-yard line. But those are the scariest 6 letters in college football. S-H-O-U-L-D. Should. 3 straight games on the road in the SEC, and yeah, they should.
Yeah.
But I don't.
You don't know.
I mean, South Carolina lost its quarterback at Georgia mid-game and won.
3rd-string quarterback won for them. How about that?
Gutty effort by that defense. Phillips off the shovel pass, dodged Bolton, dodged another, and got to the sideline for a 1st down Ole Miss.
I think this is one of the things that Ole Miss and Rich Rod will regret about tonight, is that they didn't get Scotty Phillips more involved early on. Not as many touches. He's a good running back. He's been their leading rusher, and he has not had a lot of touches tonight.
Plumlee in at quarterback. Phillips is a lead blocker here, and Plumlee drives his shoulder in to the 50-yard line.
They're switching quarterbacks on a play-to-play basis on this drive so far. And here comes Matt Corral.
Yeah.
And there goes Plumlee.
They tagged out, though, like any good tag team.
Here comes Corral. And there goes Plumlee. Back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah, you see that tackle.
How long can this go on, Rod?
How long should it go on, or how long will it go on?
Looks like for the balance of this drive, that's on target for Drummond. And he's got a 1st down for Ole Miss. You like it? What do you think about it?
No, I'm not a fan of alternating quarterbacks, whether it's by drive or play, half or whatever. I think your quarterback, in order to be the leader and be the guy, has to be the guy. I think the team needs that.
They have scored points, though, on 2 of the last 3 drives. As Kevin Connors in the studio has an update. He'll update you in a moment, but we have the tag team champions of the world.
And there's another issue. At some point, Ole Miss will have this dilemma with these 2 quarterbacks. I mean, they're both in the freshman class. You can't alternate them for 4 years.
Why not?
One will not like it.
You think the transfer portal might?
We just don't see that happening today.
Plumlee faked the throw, uses the shoulder so well, and he darts into the end zone. Oh my goodness!
Take my breath away with your speed. Wow. It did not take long. He is so decisive. Watch when he makes up his mind. He's right there. He's like, I'm out of here. And no one can run with him. Fastest guy on the field.
That's like Deuce McAllister at the quarterback position.
That is crazy speed.
And look how easy with speed it is.
He glides.
Yeah. Just what we needed. Another missed extra point in this game. That's the 3rd missed extra point. All right, 5:51 to go. Ole Miss kicking with 3 timeouts. The onside kick here?
Absolutely. You can't get the ball back. I mean, your defense is being worn out by the Mizzou offense. 7 of the last 8 drives they've scored. You have to onside kick here. What?
Or not. Logan drives it deep. They've got confidence in the defense, evidently. Take the knee. And so Logan boots it to the 1-yard line, and Mizzou's going to have the ball at the 1-yard line. What's amazing about what just happened is now you got Ole Miss with some confidence for its defense and 3 timeouts remaining.
Yeah, in a sense, this might be as good as the onside kick, but who knew they'd make that mistake there and down the ball on the 1-yard line? Now you've got a chance to really stuff them and get the ball back and have a short field.
Bryant, that came out wildly, and it's incomplete. That was dangerous as a flag has come in.
I think it's a late hit on Bryant.
He got crushed. I'm within 10 yards of that, and he paid the price big time.
In your view, was it late, Q?
I think it was. The center judge threw the flag. He was off to the quarterback's left.
See what we get. It is roughing the passer.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer with targeting on the defense.
And how about the toughness from Kelly Bryant?
Yeah.
Just kind of taking it, standing up, showing no signs of emotion.
Well, he's done that a couple times tonight, Q. I think it's pretty clear he's a tough guy, and you do look for your toughness in your quarterback. I've been impressed with him tonight.
Talking about taking it, standing up. I mean, that's his whole life in athletics.
Yep.
In high school and collegiate athletics, just kind of navigating himself through pitfalls. And he's found a home here in Columbia. Roundtree loses half a yard.
Jason, I thought it was interesting when Missouri coach Barry Odom said to us, this past year will ensure, or almost guarantee in his eyes, that Kelly Bryant will have a successful life. I thought that was interesting that he said that.
I agree with you. It was one of those moments where he feels very deeply about the strife that Bryant's been through.
Well, let's be clear. Barry Odom knows more than we do, and the public knows about what Kelly Bryant has been through. He made Kelly Bryant sit down with him and talk to him about the situation at Clemson before he was all in on having him here at Missouri. He wanted to know the other side of the story. He got the other side of the story. And he is completely on Kelly Bryant's side with the other side of the story. We and the rest of the public will hear the other side of the story sometime later, maybe after the season is over, after his college career is done.
Bryant unshackles a throw and a wide open man. Johnson down the sideline.
Good protection and a nicely thrown ball on one-on-one coverage, and a good job by Johnson to free himself and really force his defender to fall to the ground and got himself wide open.
But Kelly Bryant shows up on campus, and a week later they get this postseason ban. And Barry Odom said to us that he gave a speech to the team and said, I wouldn't blame any of you for packing your bags and not wanting to deal with this. You guys dealing with 1 year on a campus. And they said, we're here with you.
Yeah, everyone believed from the start that Bryant was going to go to Auburn or Arkansas and surprise folks by coming to Missouri. Then he gets here, and after he's here for a week, there's the postseason ban. No one would have blamed him if he'd left. But he said this place felt right, felt like family, so he stayed.
It's amazing the differences between recruiting a transfer and recruiting a high school senior.
Such as?
Such as all the bells and whistles that the high school kids want.
Yeah, he was here for the system. He was here for the coaches. So he's not, what did Barry Odom call it? The hot sauce?
Yeah.
The extra bonus stuff?
Yeah, he's chasing his NFL dream and chasing wins, and no one should be upset with him about that or deny that.
Well, that's why we have the transfer rule.
Exactly.
As you said,
and I think the transfer rule has been great for college football. I'm enjoying the fact that Jalen Hurts is not sitting behind Tua Tagovailoa and instead is playing at Oklahoma. Same with Burrows at LSU.
You want the best players to be on the field as much as possible.
Exactly.
3rd down and 5 for Roundtree. This will be 4th down and 2 for Mizzou with $1:40 to go and trying to get to 2-0 in the SEC.
Yeah, well said.
So 4th down and 2 for Mizzou with no timeouts left for Ole Miss. This is for the ball game with Roundtree next to Bryant. And it's Roundtree plunging forward, trying to push the pile. It's a rugby scrum, and it moves forward. They're going to have to change that spot that they were revving up for, and it's a 1st down Mizzou. The far side official had it 2 yards behind where they ended up, and the legs kept moving.
Yeah, and that's going to do it. And Missouri fans should feel very, very good. But listen, Ole Miss fans should feel good as well. This is a very young team, a very young Ole Miss team with young quarterbacks, young receivers, and they played well. They just couldn't shut down this team that, you know, is under the radar, but might make some noise in the SEC East.
Who's going to win that East? We thought we knew at the start of the day. Things have changed dramatically. Mizzou, by the end of the night, could be the only unbeaten in the conference left in that East. And Kelly Bryant is amped. Mizzou's offense went on a scoring spree in the 2nd half to beat John Rice Plumlee and Ole Miss. 38-27 your final score. For Quentin Rod, I'm Jason, our entire crew. Coming up next, college football continues. Hawaii and Boise State. Now we send you out to Boise. Roy Philpott, Lauren Sisler, and Colorado State's finest, Kelly Stauffer.